the Edge with April Mahoney Brains. Here, this is the place where the conversation is pointed, the guests are sharp, and the responses are never dull. Welcome home, Brains.
Coming to you straight from San Diego, California. Let's welcome our host, April Mahoney.
Welcome to On the Edge with April Mahoney Brains. Look who's here. Asha Lapps from Canada. This is a very special edition, okay? This is a special edition of On the Edge. This is for my baby brains. What? Oh, yes. So mama, daddy, you got about 35, 40 minutes that you can do whatever, cook you some dinner, or read the paper or something, while me and Asha are going to read. But before we read, I want you to meet her. She is a returning guest and a friend of the show. She lives in Canada. She has a great nonprofit organization. Is it a nonprofit or it's just a social club?
It will be a nonprofit. So that's the direction it's going. Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's great. It's the Queen of Durham region. I'm going to have her tell you all about that. She's a flight attendant. But you know what caught my attention more than anything? When I found her, she was reading. She was reading business books online to people, just beautiful voice inflection, taking her time, passion and punch. And I was like, wow, this is really neat. And I started following her. And I was like, wow, she's reading to me. And then we got to talking, and I just absolutely fell in love with that smile. She's so pretty. And so I asked her, I said, well, let's do a special edition for the baby brains, okay? And we're going to be talking to each one of you. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. I'm so excited. We're going to read about 4 books. And so Asha's going to go first. But before we actually do the reading, I want you to learn a little bit about her and what she does and why she does what she does and how in the world she started reading online. Tell us all about you, Asha.
Well, like you said, it's thank you first of all for inviting me back. So it's been nice to be on the first time, nice to be back. And you said you and I went, met online, and I live in a little town called Ajax, and I'm in Canada, and the province is the province of Ontario. And then most of you probably would know Toronto, and then I'm just east of Toronto, about a 20-minute drive on the highway. And out here I do, as April mentioned, run a group for women, Black women who live in the Durham region. So I know down there you guys have a Durham, North Carolina. Is that correct, April?
Right.
So out here we have a Durham region, and that's the suburbs where I live. So there's a couple of cities and towns that make up the Durham region. And I actually grew up out here and saw a need for women to connect in my region. And then we started our group about 2 years ago, and it's really grown to a quite large and quite engaging group. And we just try to do things to serve the community out here.
Well, tell them some of the things that you do. I was so jealous I couldn't come to the bazaar. And I look in, and you do a lot of work with people that are first-time buyers. You educate them on property, real estate.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very tight-knit group of sisters. You know, I like to see sisters flourish in Canada. You know, it's so funny.
We are out here. There's lots of us here.
Well, it's funny, Brains. I'm going to have you go back and listen to one of the other interviews, because we were talking about something. We were talking about, not racism. What were we talking about? Gun violence. And I said, are there guns there? And you go, oh, gracious, no. And your eyes got so big. and it was so sweet to know that there is a place on the planet that guns are not running rampant and they're not attacking our children. So how did you start reading, of all things? Why did you start doing that online?
So I am an avid reader, love to read. And I also love personal development. So was encouraged to read as a little one. And then once I got older, I realized the power of, and as we talk about things like social media, so much social media now, there's the TV, there's all these different things coming at you. And I think often that news can be unfortunately negative. And I think that we have the ability to control what we take in. And one of those ways is by reading books. So people sometimes say, how are you so like positive and things like that? I don't wake up always so friendly. I make sure I wake up and
I don't.
Oh, honey, yes. I always make sure that I read first thing in the morning. I don't get to it every day, but most days. So my thing is to read 5 pages before I leave my room. So I'll do some gratitude journaling, either 5 or 10 things I'm thankful for, and then I'll read something that is positive or uplifting before I get out here into the world where all sorts of other messages are coming at me. And that's how I protect, that's how I protect my space through reading. And then I just wanted to share it with other people.
Well, that's beautiful. You know, as a child, I had a reading challenge. I could not hear the words or the letters phonetically. And it was such a struggle. And my parents couldn't really figure out what it was. And I didn't know how to explain it. And so finally, the it wasn't working. So my parents introduced me to Dr. Zeus, and they put me in special reading classes, and we figured out what it was. But sometimes I still transpose letters, and that's probably because I go too fast. But there's a lot of reasons why children really don't read. Maybe some of it is because what they're reading, they're not interested in. You know, give them a comic book, or you know what was my favorite thing to read, believe it or not, when I really started reading good, was Newsweek. I loved the politics. And what was the other one? A couple of the Right On magazine. That's where I started writing poetry and submitting that poetry into the magazine, because girl, I just knew Michael Jackson was going to read it and he was going to marry me.
Of course.
It didn't happen that way. But for the most part, so I started putting words together, and then I started to rhyme, and then it became poetry, and I started submitting it into magazines, and I started to win. And wow, what a boost to my self-esteem. Mm-hmm. But my daughter, oddly enough, had the same challenge. And we put her in a program here in the United States called Sylvan Learning Center. And let me tell you, parents, if you have a child and you can afford it, I swear by Sylvan Learning Center. They taught me to teach her to reward her for her effort. Not because she got it all right, not because, of this, but because she really tried. And it worked like a charm. And next thing I know, within about a year and a half, Harry Potter came out, that big 800-page book. The child got through the entire book. It was wonderful. It was wonderful. And I also noticed that there is a correlation between reading and mathematics, because you have to understand the terminology of the words, the definition of the words, because math is just another language and it's a puzzle. And once you learn how to add, subtract, multiply, and divide, that's it. All you have to do is, wonder what the X is and the Y and, all that kind of stuff. So really, parents, take your time with your children. Sit down and read a book to them. They love that. That is so intimate. My dad used to come in there and he'd read to me. My mom used to come in and read to me. It just does something. It's about a bonding and the information and their vocabulary. Okay, and another thing, when people are not good spellers, don't bust their chops. That has nothing to do with their intelligence, okay? It's letter and word placement. Their vocabulary is what you need to be concerned with, okay? So don't be judgmental on that. So, Asha, yes. What are some tips that you have for people that are learning how to read, or children that are trying to, struggling with reading?
I think the exact same thing, like you said, is to find something that they enjoy. So I had some series when I was younger that I loved to read. So Nancy Drew mystery books I like to read. What else did we have? There were some adventure books. There were like the Babysitter Club books.
Oh my God.
Oh yes.
George.
Yeah. And then as you mentioned, I had actually, when we were deciding to do this, I had run to the library and picked up the Dr. Seuss books. So I've got a couple of those. And the rhyming, right?
I met him before he passed. He lived here in San Diego.
Really?
His wife, yes. And his wife is just, she passed not too long ago. But they were some of the most amazing people in the world. Really,
Yeah.
really, really.
So having something that's fun, and then with the Dr. Seuss's, the words rhyme. So being able to like see and hear the rhyming, I think is very important. And making it fun, I think being consistent with it. So having, every night before bed that you sit and read together. And like you said, I think it's about the book, but also about the bonding with mom or dad, to be able to do that and have that tradition. Because I remember, my parents reading to me, or my dad would like read, but he would act out the books, and we would.
My goodness!
Yeah.
My dad
it was the funniest thing ever.
My dad would change his voice and just, he would just show up and show out. And I was for puppets, so I like to do things with puppets too. But it's so important. I mean, reading is the key.
Yeah. And these days there's so many, there's so much with devices, and, the kids are on the iPads and stuff like that. And I know like it's easier said than done, but I think it's so important for us not to lose the actual reading with actual books.
Well, I mean, and it stimulates the brain.
Yes.
It really makes you think. I have a friend of mine that is an avid reader like you. She's 88.
Wow.
Does not miss a beat, okay? She really kind of keeps it going. And I asked her, I said, how do you stimulate your brain? How are you not forgetting, what day it is, or, how much money you have in your purse? Just, this basic stuff. She said, because I'm a reader.
Wow. Ooh, that's good to know, Miss April. I just had my 40th birthday, so.
No, you didn't.
I did. 40? Yeah,
Look,
so.
I'm going to touch you for that. Right. Well, I mean, that's amazing. 40 looking good on you, girl.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So if I double that when I'm 80, I also want to be sharp as your friend.
If you're looking this good and reading, you might live to be 120.
I'll go for it. I'll go for it.
So what have you decided to read for our baby brains?
Well, I've got two books and it was hard to pick two, but one book that I had gone over to my mom's, and she had recently gotten this book, and I thought that called I Am Enough by Grace Byers, and I thought this was beautiful, and I loved the illustrations, so I picked that one as one of them. And then my second book is called Bicycle Bear, and this is a book that my dad used to read to me when we were younger, and then my little sister got it for my nephew. So I just went and borrowed it from my 2-year-old nephew. He said I could have it for a few days and then I'm going to return it. But yeah, that's my second one.
Well, I am going to read Dropsy the Squirrel. This is one of the books that was sent and we put in the swag bag from Deborah Luke Harrison from North Carolina. Okay, and she was one of the guests on The Edge. And then I am also, now this one doesn't have a lot of illustrations, but this is a book that I wrote, and it is called Rico the Seagull, Making the Best Out of a Mess. Now it's out of print now, but let me tell you the little backstory behind that. So one day I saw this seagull swoop down and take this sandwich out of this woman's hand. Right when she was about to bite into it, girl, she was fit to be tied, and she cussed that seagull a while. And I laughed and I laughed. The next day I saw him in the fountain, and he was giving himself a bath, and he was just, was full of himself. So I gave him a nickname. I called him Rico. Then I took out my journal and I just started penning the story. Long story short, the story ended up being an anti-bullying environmental love story. And I went to, something happened, a natural disaster, well, a man-made disaster happened, and I went to the school district in that area, and I said, you know what? You really need to right or wrong. I've created this book. Would you consider purchasing a book for all of the students in your school district? It's an activity book. In the back, they can write, their feelings, their emotions. There's a word search. Girl, them people wrote me a check for 7,000 books. So people always ask me, how did you sell 12,000 copies out of the back of your car? Because, girl, I was packing up Rico the Seagull and shipping it out. So it's all in the ask, okay? But it's such a great story, and it's not a lot of illustrations, but it's a pretty powerful story. So I'm going to read second, and I'm just going to read first, okay?
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Ready, baby brains. Okay, I see you.
All right, you ready?
Ready.
Okay, so I Am Enough by Grace Byers. Like the sun, I'm here to shine. Like the voice, I am here to sing. Like the bird, I'm here to fly and soar high over everything. Like the trees, I'm here to grow. Like the mountains, here to stand. That's that part. Like time, I'm here to be and be everything I can. Like the champ, I'm here to fight. Like the heart, I'm here to love. Like the ladder, here to climb, and like the air to rise above. Like the wind, I'm here to push. Like a rope, I'm here to pull. Like the rain, I'm here to pour and drip and fall until I'm full. Like the moon, I'm here to dream. Like the student, here to learn. There she is reading her book. Like the water, here to swell. Like the fire, here to burn. Like the winner, I'm here to win. And if I don't, get up again. I know that I may sometimes cry, but even then, I'm here to try. I'm not meant to be like you. You're not meant to be like me. Sometimes we will get along and sometimes we will disagree. I know that we don't look the same. Our skin, our eyes, our hair, our frame. But that does not dictate our worth. We both have places here on earth. And in the end, we are right here to live a life of love, not fear. To help each other when it's tough, to stay together. To say together, I am enough.
Now that was good. That was
That's
good.
all.
Yeah, that was enough. That was pretty good. I like that. I like that. And the illustrations are so beautiful. So, Lady Brains, I want you to think about that. You know, when you're in a place where you're having a challenging time and maybe somebody is not being nice to you or they're bullying you, you know what? Think about that. Think about what Asha just read. You are enough. It doesn't matter how small you are, how big you are, how light you are, how curly your hair is, how straight it is. You know, if you wear glasses, if you got braces, you're enough.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay, so for number 2?
Yeah, she's ready for number 2.
All right, so this is called Bicycle Bear, and the author is Michaela Montine, and pictures by Doug Cushman.
Okay, now tell me a little bit about why that means so much to you, that book.
So it was a book that was read to me when I was younger, and my parents used to read it to myself and my sisters. And even as I read it now, like, I remember the rhymes are so embedded in me that I could probably say a lot of it without looking. And I mean, I haven't read this book in years, but it was read over and over and over and over and over to myself and my sisters. And I love my family so much. So, and I love like memories and stuff. So this is reminds you of my childhood.
See? Good memories, Brain. See? It's
Yeah.
planted in your psyche. All right.
Exactly.
Sit up. Are you guys paying attention? Everybody, I want you quiet. Quiet.
I love that finger. Oh my gosh. So here we go.
All right.
When you want to send a package, when you want to send a hug, when you want to send some flowers or an oriental rug, when it won't fit in the mailbox and the postman says, no way, when it absolutely has to be there on that very day. Call Bicycle Bear. Oh, Bicycle Bear, just give him a ring and he will be there. He'll deliver green pickles. He'll deliver sweet jams. He'll deliver your kisses and sing telegrams. But the most surprising thing you will hear him say came upon a Tuesday, the 21st of May. The day began quite normally. When he woke up at dawn, he stretched a bear-sized stretch and yawned a bear-sized yawn. He hopped onto his bicycle and off to work he went. He had a long, long list of things that needed to be sent. The first two things were pizzas. He picked them up with ease. One was topped with sausage and one with extra cheese. A bunch of roses followed, then a kitten in a box, 2 bowls of shiny goldfish, and a pair of purple socks. 2 hats with fuzzy pom-poms, a suitcase filled with shoes, a postcard with a picture of New York City views. The list went on, and so did Bicycle Bear, collecting plants and packages and a great big rocking chair. One more stop, said Bicycle Bear. I hope it's something small. A feather would be very nice, or a little ping pong ball. But at the home of Ema Goose, he got a big surprise. It was so big that Bicycle Bear could not believe his eyes. Oh, Ema Goose, you're such a goose to send this gift, a birthday moose. Oh, yes, indeed, said Ema. I always try to send something big and different to Eleanor, my friend. That is fine, said Bicycle Bear, who hemmed and hawed a bit. The only problem is, he said, I don't know where he'll fit. He thought a while, then set to work. He tried a lot of things. He wrapped up that big birthday moose with ribbons, bows, and strings. He put him in a bag. He put him in a box. He put him in a big wood crate and locked it with 2 locks. But no matter what he tried, it kept on coming loose. There's got to be a way, he said, to take a birthday moose. He wondered how to move him without boxes, bags, or crates. Then all at once he shouted out, just try these roller skates. Not only will you get there, but you'll be helping me. It won't be hard for you to hold a thing or 2 or 3. And so from town to town they went. They traveled here and there, delivering the goldfish, delivering the chair, delivering the roses, the hats, and pizzas too. When we're done, said Bicycle Bear, I must deliver you. He found the house of Eleanor and called, delivery! But there was no one home. Oh, where could Eleanor be? Now what? He mumbled to himself and scratched his furry head. Then he saw the posted note, and this is what it said. Go 2 blocks to your left. You'll see a yellow door. That is where you'll find me. Sincerely, Eleanor. He followed the directions and found the yellow door. Behind it was a party, and there was Eleanor. It was her birthday party. The guests were celebrating. Some of them were eating cake, and some were roller skating. Oh, my stars, cried Eleanor. Is it true? Oh, can it be? Is this moose on roller skates a birthday gift for me? Why, yes, said Bicycle Bear. From your good friend Ema Goose, she sends her warmest wishes with this handsome birthday moose. Oh, what a thoughtful gift. Now I'd like it if you'd take a thank you note to Ema. But first, please have some cake. I'm happy to do both, said Bicycle Bear with a smile, and so he had some birthday cake and skated for a while. He said goodbye to everyone. He thanked the birthday moose, and now I'll be returning to the home of Ema Goose. He hopped onto his bicycle and back to work he went. There was a special thank you note that needed to be sent. So when you want to send a package or a turtle or a fish, when you want to send a tuba or anything you wish, call Bicycle Bear. Oh, Bicycle Bear, just give him a ring and he'll be there. No job is too big, no job is too small. Bicycle Bear will deliver it all. The end.
Oh, that is special. That was really good. That was really good.
Thank you for letting me read that.
Absolutely, absolutely. Brains, did you enjoy that? Yay! Say thank you to Miss Asha, okay? Because she did that out of love and she shared that moment with you. Now I'm going to read Dropsy. This is by Deborah Luke Hardison. She's, again, like I said, in North Carolina. And then the illustrations are by Donna Brooks. And that was a friend of hers, she told me, that wrote this. And this is really based off of a true story. They found a baby squirrel in their yard, and this is what happened. Dropsy. Can you guys see that good? Is that good?
Mm-hmm.
All right. One beautiful day, outside was a girl, when down from the tree fell a small squirrel. Surprised, she looked up to the tree. Behind them was a mama up there trying to find him. There was no one there, but Jordan knew what to do. The squirrel needed to be fed and to be kept warm too. First, she asked Mommy if it was okay to keep him, for without food and shelter, his body would be weakened. Mommy said yes, but since he was a squirrel, later he would need to return to his world. We knew it was best for the squirrel to be free. Jordan named him Dropsy since he fell from a tree. Jordan's friend Olivia helped out as he grew. He was fun to play with, but could be annoying too. Gerard made many trips to buy Dropsy more milk. He loved to hold him. His fur felt like silk. The weather turned cold and snow fell down. Dropsy stayed inside, not out on the ground. He curled up in his cage at bedtime each night. Spent some days in Mama's pocket, much to his delight. Spring finally came and brought with it flowers. He would sit by the window and stare out for hours. We took Dropsy outside. He could run really fast. He played out in the yard with nature at last. Each day he played outside longer and longer. He learned to climb trees and grew stronger and stronger. Then one day Dropsy climbed to the top of a tree and turned to say goodbye. Finally, he was free. The end. That was awesome, Sauce.
Oh, so cute.
So thank you for that. You can pick up a copy of this book here, Dropsy, on Amazon, and go back and listen to a great interview with the author, Deborah Luke Hardison, out of North Carolina. So when we come back, I am going to read Rico the Seagull, making the best out of a mess. Thank you so much, Asha, for being here on the Edge. We're going to have to do this again. I think this would be a great addition to On the Edge with April Mahoney, is to really have a conversation about reading and enjoy reading and some books and talk about them, right?
I agree. Yeah, let's do it again.
All right, we're going to do it again. Brains, I'll be back. Pay attention. Bye.